Hey there, experienced guitarists. We are going to do something completely different. If you have been in my class before, you know that beginner guitarists do a short little piece, little finger picking piece exercise called pastoral or study number 2. We'll have one for you called Estudio. Estudio is just a short little practice piece, a little piece written, it actually dates back to like the 18th century by a Spanish composer named Aguado. So this piece has this running arpeggio of thumb, like it's very similar to lots of things we've done in the past where you're running your fingers like this, going from your thumb up and then back down, back to the thumb. There's two ways that you can do this piece, play this piece. You will recall from before that I've said that each of these three fingers, the index, middle, and ring, have a string. G, B, and E, respectively. G, B, and E. And the thumb gets all three bass strings. Now, so that is one way of playing this, and if you were to take a look at the music, you could hear in the beginning, you could play it like this, where the beginning is just your... You could also play it by using your thumb for the first and fifth notes of each bar. I'm going to attach this as both tab and standard notation because some of you prefer to read standard, which is awesome. You could play it with a thumb, index, middle, index instead. Like you could play it like that if you want. So the beginning, instead of just these three fingers playing, you could play it like this. The advantage of that is that your thumb is probably a little bit stronger than your index, and it really makes that bass ring out. I play it like that. It's probably not technically correct, but I am not a professional classical guitarist, so that's okay. This song is meant to be played, at a pretty peppy speed, about 120 beats per minute or more. If you just Google 120 beats per minute, you'll get what that should sound like. I think it's about in and around there. But you know what? Start slow. Don't worry about how fast it is. Try and make it a little bit faster as you get better at it. The next thing I want to mention about this piece is, and I've said this lots of times, is look for patterns. Look for things that are going to make your life easier. The first pattern that I'll tell you right now is that this is 24 bars of music. There's 3 sections of 8. The first and last sections of 8 are identical. So when you've mastered the first section of 8 bars, you have actually now mastered 2/3 of the song because it just repeats in the last 8 bars. So the middle 8 is different. You will detect a theme running through it all, though. In terms of a melody, you'll hear kind of running throughout it all. Second thing I wanted to mention that's going to make your life easier is look for patterns in chords. So when it starts off, don't make the mistake of looking at individual notes and saying 2, 1, open, 1, 2, 1. You see what I'm doing with my left hand there. Look for patterns. That first pattern there could, fits very well with an A minor. And the second pattern fits very well with an E. So if I were playing, now you'll see when I play, I don't play just the chords. But if you think about those chords, you will find it becomes a little easier because your brain, because you've been playing guitar for a while, your brain has chords kind of locked in there. So moving your hands to chords and then figuring out the fingering is a lot easier than saying, well, 2, then 1, then open, then 1, then 2. Think A minor, and your life will be a little bit easier. Okay, so let's, I'm trying to think if there's anything really tricky in here. The 6th bar can be a little bit tricky. It's this 3rd fret, 3rd fret. If you think of it almost like, well, I guess you can't really play it like a B because you need to, or a B flat, you need to take your finger off there. So 3, but that 6th bar might give you some trouble. In the, looking here, 13th bar, it has this, 13th bar has what could be a C chord, and then it reverses. I'll show my hand there. It goes like this, and then you need to kind of reverse. It's almost, I'm not going to have a chord in my hand in my brain that's going to emulate that. But you can see this C, and that's really to accommodate this bass line down. I think that's about it. There's not actually much difficult. It's just practice and listening and giving it some time. So I hope you enjoy it. If you've never played anything like this before, this is a great opportunity to expand your horizons and try something new. Okay, so let's take a listen right now to, I'll play all the way through. All right, so I realized as I was listening back there that that first recording had my laptop at the back of the desk, and it wasn't quite picking up the sound as well as it could have been. So I thought I would play it again. I'm going to try and angle my guitar and get a little bit closer here so you can see even more of my hand. It's a hard song to show. This is a hard way to teach, but we'll see what we can do here, okay? All right, so I hope this sounds a little bit better. Okay, so I'm hoping that sounded a little bit better. It's hard. I found the first time, because it's a nylon string guitar, there was a little bit of, it sounded like there's a lot of buzzing muted notes. It doesn't quite sound that same as I'm playing it, but I can't help it. I don't really have a ton of technology to record this any better. As usual, please message me if you have any questions. I would love to help you out. I hope you enjoy this. A little bit different than what we normally do, but always fun to expand your horizons. All right, have yourselves a great day.